Let's see.
Contain your excitement about being
I'm
here.
not the only one.
All right.
All right, ready to roll.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Friday, March 15th, 2024 Open Space and Recreation Plan Ad Hoc Committee. Will Rubenstein, the chair, and before we get started, I get to read official legal stuff. This is to formally advise that as required by MGL Chapter 30A, squiggle 18 to 25, and pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, called an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during a state of emergency, signed into law on June 16th, 2021, as extended by Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. The OSRP Ad Hoc Committee will hold a public meeting at the date and time noted on the notice of meeting. The public is welcome to attend either in person or via the alternative public access provided on the notice of meeting available on the Town of Yarmouth website. So this meeting is now officially underway. Kathy, should we just start with number one?
Yes.
Or do we do the housekeeping first?
No, I think we should start with number one.
I agree with you. So
That's
the
the
first
important
item on the agenda is the OSRP update to review comments received on the draft from DCS, from the commission, from the planning board, from the Conservation Commission, and from our friends in the general public. And also review the proposed red line edits to the draft so that we can then present this to the select board forthwith.
Forthwith, yes.
Okay.
So I think what we're gonna do is have Cassie, she's gonna pull up the red line edits and we'll kind of go through them and I'll kind of give you an idea of why the change was made, whose comment we're trying to, I think she has the full, she might have the full thing here on there. The comments we can look at afterwards if you have any questions about whether we had addressed someone's comment or not, we can certainly go through those. So I think, Cassie, if we go right to the report, just kind of go through the different red line edits. There was a lot of comments. It was a lot of thoughtful comments, I thought, on the open space and rec plan.
For sure.
We got some from the public, but also some good ones when we met with the Conservation Commission, the Planning Board, and other committees. Oh, there's Steve.
I just have a couple.
So just acknowledge you.
Oh, yeah. So we take, oh, sorry, I didn't even take, good morning. I didn't take attendance. How rude of me. Why don't we do that first?
Yep.
All right, let's see who we got here. Christine Marzigliano.
Present.
Thank you. Gail Charette.
Here.
Ellie Lawrence.
Here.
Steve Szanski.
Here.
Whoa, the voice of God. We can't see him, but we can hear him. Also, we have other friends here from the town of Yarmouth. Bill Benetti, Brittany DiRienzo. Anthony, sorry. Anthony Bennett. Amanda, right. I've only seen you on a screen. It's nice to know you're a real person. Amanda Lima from DPW.
Yeah, she's town engineer.
Right. And like I said, town engineer.
Yeah.
And Kathy
Williams.
Right, I know who she is.
You know
And then
me.
I don't know who John Frost is, but I'm sure he's a nice
He's on
person.
the conservation. He's on conservation.
Oh, hi. Okay, is he our special guest? We'll find out. We love it. We
Okay.
love attendance. And Cassie, Bethany, and Cara Florio.
Yes, I think she's from pickleball, is
Yes.
what Anthony.
All right, cool. All right, well, we'll get to y'all soon. And now back to you, Kathy and Cassie.
So Cassie's just gonna pull it up.
Okay. There we are.
Has everyone seen the cover?
Yep.
Yep.
So I guess if you can just kind of scroll through,
Sure.
there's some that adding. Yeah, you could just keep going. I think the first one's on page 3. That's meaningful.
Yeah, we're in this. We're in this.
So Anthony got promoted, so we reflected that, as did Nate. So we had those changes made. The Cape Cod Commission thought that the way this was written for the Riverwalk Park was that it was actually constructed already, so they just recommended that we identify that it's in planning and permitting. So simple edit. You can go to the next page, Cassie. If you have a comment on things as we're moving through, that's in these, feel free to jump in.
Sure.
So page 7, this is all about our meetings, and then we just added some additional information regarding the review process and who we got comments from, and also included all of those comments will be in Appendix H. There were some comments from Joe Manning and Steve O'Neill regarding some future improvements at recreation facilities that I wanted to get in there, things like water bottle filling stations, Wi-Fi, and then the live feed notification for when beach parking lots are full, which would be nice to have. So I just wanted to make sure that those were included here somewhere. I didn't necessarily change any of the goals related to that, but I wanted to acknowledge that those are great ideas. And as we're moving forward in any design, we're always going to start looking at water bottle filling stations and those types of things. They're just kind of normal process. The next edits were just some changes in the, we did a 30-day, and then going down to page 10 is the history. Yeah, the Historical Commission took a great interest in this and wanted to make sure that we had an accurate history of our community. They did a great job editing that, much appreciated. So these are all just basically taking their edits. And thank you to Lisa Sherman, who helped summarize it in this nice way. So those are really the comments under historic history of the community.
Can I just point out, I think, because the newspaper editor in me says, on page 13, 50 is supposed to be a number. I thought. Am I wrong on that? Am I just getting old?
Where is this?
When you
Yeah.
write a number that's more than 10.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be in numerical form. Not spelled out.
Done.
Thank you. I can now leave the meeting. That was my one comment. Okay. So it was at the bottom of page 13.
Yep.
It actually should be 50.
50.
So
Okay, just like
reject
Hawaii.
the edit and we'll be all good.
I reject the edit. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
If those are the biggest comments we have, we're doing really good.
Well,
I'll be very happy.
Unfortunately, they won't be. But anyway, no,
All right.
unfortunately, keep going, please.
So keep going to the map 3-2 on page 19. So this was just a comment from both the Cape Cod Commission and Division of Conservation Services. They just fixed the legend to show the minority. I think they were both green at one point. So minor change, all fixed. Next page is just a minor staff update regarding the Cape Cod, the shared use pathway, because phases 1 and 2 were already constructed. And we're going on to phase 3. So I tried to update these minor things if I could as I was going through. So the next page, on page 25, I think, is when we have another change. So George Perkins had a great comment about acknowledging that we use the treated effluent from our septic treatment facility to actually do some recycling and water and irrigate at the Bayberry Hills. And I'm like, great idea. Let's put that in there. And that's been included. And then there was just some staff comments. I'm trying to highlight some of the things with regard to water and wastewater. So that's where you got the referencing of the different sections here, just so that people understand there's more information on this great topic in another section of the report.
Can
And
I
then,
ask?
yeah, sure.
Go ahead. Who would like to speak? Is that you, Steve? Did I hear noise? I heard noise.
No, not me.
Okay, never mind. All right, no, then this meeting needs to end soon. At the bottom of 26. I'm not, can you help me understand why that was taken out?
Yeah, it was taken out because this is just kind of talking about the long-term development patterns. And this was actually a comment from Joanne Crowley at the planning board.
Right. Okay,
That this
now-
was
now it's coming
actually
back.
some type of recommendation, and this was not the section for recommendation.
We shouldn't shut all over ourselves, as they say. Okay,
So
got it.
that's why that one was taken out.
okay.
On the next page on 33, at the bottom there, Richard Simon had some good ideas of including some additional information, like number of parking spaces, number of mooring locations and stuff. So you'll see peppered throughout here, but mostly in table 5-6 where we added some additional information on this. We got some information from Bill with regard to the number of moorings, and then the number were located in Lewis Bay, Bass River, and Cape Cod Bay. So we've added that additional information in there.
The official watershed name is Barnstable Harbor and not Mill Creek.
I think it is, because you'll see later, there's the next couple pages later, it's Barnstable Harbor. Yeah.
No one's gonna call it that,
That's okay.
right?
Yeah,
right.
that's what
Like
we
the
do.
sub, the
No,
sub
it is.
watershed.
The sub watershed, yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I think you guys caught that, Weston and Sampson caught that when they did the map update. So the next The next page had a couple edits on it, just referencing the number of freshwater ponds from the Cape Cod Commission. They're doing that freshwater initiative. And we basically have 58 freshwater ponds in the town of Yarmouth. They had originally included 60, but we told them that Seine Pond and Run Pond are actually titled, so they're removing those from the pond atlas. So it's 58. Again, just from staff referring to other sections on where more information can be found out about a topic. And please feel free to stop me at any time. I'm just going to keep going through unless you stop me.
Okay.
And page 37, I wasn't really clear what this map originally showed, but I thought it would be a great opportunity to show the sub-watershed areas in town. So they've, Weston and Sampson changed it to show that. So I think that's a much more useful map.
Okay, page 39, I have a corrections.
Okay,
We're almost
we're
there.
almost there. Again, at the bottom of page 38, those are just the corrections from Cape Cod Commission Jessica Rumble with regard to the freshwater ponds. And the same thing with this table. I went on to the Cape Cod Pond Atlas, which they've updated, and I kind of updated this information. So I know that Christine had an edit.
Christine, please.
Okay, the chart on page 39. Green Pond, which is like the fourth one down,
Yep.
is located in Yarmouthport.
Oh, yeah.
True. Nice catch.
Okay, and Miss Thatcher's Pond is in Yarmouthport.
Great,
Thank
thank you.
Little Greeno Pond, which is in Yarmouthport, is
Okay,
located in the Boy Scout camp
Yep.
and the N-Star property. When that was sold, you can see on the assessors page here that it's half N-Star and half Boy Scouts.
okay. So we'll just add that to the public access that
Yeah.
it's, okay, excellent. And
Can I ask you just a general question is how, this is completely ignorant question. I'm looking at Brittany to make me less ignorant. How do ponds grow?
What do you mean?
Well, because some of these ponds got bigger. So are they measured? So like, I
The accuracy that they were
Okay,
using.
I was
got
like-
more precise.
was like, what
They
voodoo? What voodoo is this, Brittany? Like, including the pond
Yeah.
that I live on and work on. I was like, it grew a
substantially.
1/10 of an acre and I
Yeah.
wasn't there to witness it. I've been there 20 years and I have, anyway, okay. So this is just about better, you think just better equipment?
Probably.
it was
more
like
precise
over
data
20 years
collection.
old,
Yeah.
at least,
All right,
from the
cool.
original stuff.
Now I feel better
Yeah,
that it's scientific. Okay, thank you.
In our knowledge, it grew.
yeah,
That too.
there you go. And then the next page is just acknowledging that even though Seine Pond and Run Pond are called ponds, they're not freshwater. So just clarifying that. I think page 41 was a minor edit from the Cape Cod Commission that is called the Pond and Lake Stewards Program, not the Atlas Program. The next page, we did have, and I believe Brittany is actually updated, I'm sorry, page 44.
Yes.
That was a separate email, everybody.
Yeah,
Which I hope you got to see. Awkward silence, okay?
yeah, it's just Brittany edited the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
changes. I wung it, and then I said, I should probably check that with Brittany.
Yeah.
And she made it,
Swing.
yeah,
You wung
oh,
it
thank
well.
you.
You want it.
So she has edited this slightly just for accuracy purposes, but it kind of just provides the same information, just accurate.
Yay.
So I think the next edit is on page 46. Which is the maps. I think we wanted to identify the well location so people have a better understanding of where they are. That kind of came from a staff comment. Also, there were some changes in the legend from the commission with regard to the floodplain. And then DCR also had a question about where our wetlands and floodplains are shown. And I think I'll just be referencing this map because it shows both on one map. So I think that covered 3 comments.
That was a good one.
So the next page, 47, again, just some clarifications from Brittany on what has been going on since we wrote this back in June of 2023. At the bottom there, there's just some staff updates with regard to the fact that we did finally purchase those 10 parcels of property on Higgins Kroll, and now they have a conservation, so we've added that here. I believe the conservation restriction might actually be executed before we, or maybe the same day we're going to the open space, for the open space and rec plan, because it was on the agenda. It just got bumped because they were a little too heavy on that agenda item. So that's very pending. And if it does happen, I'll edit it in here. The next page on 48, just kind of emphasizing kind of where we stand with regard to our PFAS and our drinking water. I believe that we received some additional money, zero interest loan from the Mass Drinking Water Revolving Fund related to our treatment. So, and that project has started, I believe at wells 4 and 5, and will be completed in 2024.
It's treating.
It's what?
It's treating.
It's treating now? Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
Just got preliminary results. It's working.
Awesome.
Better.
I live in the Captain's Villages, so I'm glad to hear that.
Yay, treating
Those are
water.
right next to me. So the next, it's a question on page 52 has to do with white-tailed deer, and this has to do with maybe we should just show the map on page 59, map 47, because it has to do with animal migratory corridors and how we can get around. Yeah, nope, page, 50. Sorry, I'm
52.
59. That's it. She's got it.
Oh,
You can
sorry.
see here, I don't know if you can zoom in a little bit, Kat. That awesome. They just, Weston and Sampson, let's start back for DCS wanted to show the migratory routes for animals on a map in the open space and rec plan. Weston and Sampson kind of took a look here and tried to identify some areas. I think there's more migratory here, so I'm kind of looking for input from Bill, or whether you guys have any, because I know that there's more routes here, and I kind of have worked up a little possible idea of what I think might be it. I don't have it to show.
White Creek could come down a little further. One of the reasons that we acquired Starbuck Lane property.
Yeah, I think,
Because it was an animal corridor.
I think we can, these blue lines, I think we can go all the way down here and connect these
All
two.
the way down to Miss Thatcher's Pond.
Exactly. And I think we can also connect here all the way through all of the town-owned lands, the bogs and everything, down to actually the drive-in site. Granted, animals would have to cross the street, but it's not like Route 6 where they have the fencing there that really prohibits it.
And
Can I jump in for a second?
sorry.
I just had a text. I have to make a kind of emergency phone call, but unfortunately, it's right when you brought this up. But this would be, like, can I have a little time and work on this too?
Yes.
And
Yes.
get something back to you? Like, this would be a fun thing for me to do.
So what's a reasonable deadline? So
Yeah, I was gonna say, just, we need to know by next week, because I need to send it to I want to send it to the select board, so they have like 2 weekends to review this very dense document before we're gonna be presenting to them. So the sooner the better. I think there's some obvious additions that we could add right now, but I know that then maybe Bill can finesse it, but I don't see how a deer can go from the north side of town to the south side of the town, because there's fences along Route 6.
Right.
So I think that statement that we had originally, which was a question, really probably should be taken out, because it isn't, unfortunately, unless
They
they're,
take the rails.
I was gonna say, unless
Yeah.
they take the railroad tracks.
Down.
There is a tunnel underneath Route 6 where the railroad tracks are, but
Okay,
then they're
the
being
bear
dumped
took
out
the
in,
railroad.
in a not a great spot, so.
But believe it or not, they do use that railroad bed.
They do,
Yeah,
interesting.
and I've talked to a lot of hunters that have hunted Yarmouth their whole life. And that's kind of a known thing.
All right, so maybe we'll just leave it with Bill was gonna do a little bit more research on this, and we'll go from there.
And Bill, if you could rejoin us, great. And if not, we understand.
I think I'm good. Someone else is gonna make the call for me, so I'm just
All right.
sorry. I'm texting right now, but I think I'm good to
Okay.
stay.
It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, the sooner the better, so we can get that into the map. We could always finalize it later, but I want to keep going with the we have a very tight schedule with the Board of Selectmen, so let's just keep on to moving.
Or the select board.
Select Board, sorry.
It's okay. It's gonna take time.
Yeah, it will take time. On page 55,
Okay,
oh, I'm sorry, did you have something?
go for it.
You all
It's on
set?
the next page.
Yeah, on page 55. Sorry, we're going backwards. We're sending Cassie all over the place here. This is just a comment from the Cape Cod Commission, Sarah Korjeff, who's their historic person, just to kind of, in this particular location, to emphasize the different historic districts that they have, and also to emphasize that there's also other structures and landscapes on the Massachusetts Cultural Resource Inventory System, which might be good to help identify different resources. So this was just added for more information and a comment from the Cape Cod Commission. One of the things that the commission asked was whether they just wanted us to do a cursory review or a more detailed review. I asked for a more detailed review because I wanted to use this as the basis for a lot of sections of the local comprehensive plan. So they put in more effort and provided more comments than they would have if we just were looking for a general approval letter, which they did provide to us also. On page 62.
Yeah, I just think
Oh, I'm
in
sorry.
environmental challenges.
Yeah.
It describes, septic systems associated with development along coastlines can contribute excess nutrient loading. I think we could delete the word can because they are and they do.
So where, oh,
I think we're
okay.
just eliminating, Brittany would like to remove.
Just get
the
rid of
word
can, yep.
In line 4 and line 6. As we are
What
facing.
page are we on?
Oh,
I'm on
Okay.
62.
Sorry.
Page
So are we
62
back?
at the top.
you were
Yeah.
right there. Environmental challenges, fourth line, eliminating the verb can, and the sixth line as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
also, yeah. And then the emphasis from the commission from Tim was that, it's not just septic systems, but also fertilizer usage that contributes to nitrogen. So we added that in there. The next edits are on page 63. And these are comments, again, from Tim at the Cape Cod Commission. He was just saying that even fully functioning systems are causing problems with nitrogen, not just failed systems. So he recommended, and that makes sense, kind of like what Brittany was saying, let's just be straightforward and state it out, that that's not the problem. But the real issue is that our soils are highly permeable. So we kept that part in there. And then he also wanted to emphasize that not just our estuaries are impacted, but also our freshwater ponds and drinking water wells are impacted by on-site septic systems. So all good edits. And then at the bottom of the last paragraph there with the edits in it, that was really just to kind of emphasize how much effort the town has done to try to address this issue and voting of the $207 million for phase 1. And then we began in early 2024. We just had our groundbreaking ceremony on Thursday to start off that process. And then just to note that we did receive the 0 interest loan for that work. On the top of the next page, there have been some changes to Title V since this report was originally written, and they have basically identified all of Cape Cod's estuaries that have impacted by nitrogen as being nitrogen impaired watersheds, and they need to have either AI systems for all the individual, or we need to do watershed permits. So the town obviously, and I think what they wanted to do is have all the towns do this, is submitted some intent to file a watershed permits for our Bass River, Parkers River, and Lewis Bay watersheds. And that has been done. So it's just kind of updating that we're moving forward with these particular issues. Further down the page, again, comment from Tim at the Cape Cod Commission was that fertilized landscapes aren't just it's not just stormwater, it's also fertilizer. So we've added that in there. And also one of the part of the wastewater program is that we do have to do some type of fertilizer education program to get some credits for that, to make people aware of issues with over fertilizing, when you should be applying them, and then the proper application rates. The next edit's on page 67. Yeah, this has to do with potential for Chapter 40Bs being a bit of a challenge. And I think Jessica from the Cape Cod Commission was really asking, why are 40Bs an issue? And it's really an issue because our zoning goes out the door. So we don't have anything with regard to lot coverage or even our stricter environmental regulations that might apply under the new wetland regulations that we have in town. Those don't apply to Chapter 40B. So it opens things up a little bit more than a traditional development that has to meet all of our town standards, not just state standards. So that's a minor little edit there. On page 71, a real quick edit to add a legend to the environmental justice plan there, just so that we understand that we have minority as well as income EJ populations in our town. Again, on the next page on 72, same thing. And then if you could go to page 73. Can you, I just was looking through this yesterday, Cassie, and I noticed, is the red indicating that there's a TMDL that's required? Because it looks like you're saying Lewis Bay doesn't have a TMDL, and I think they do. I'm not sure what that red in Lewis Bay is reflecting.
Yeah, it says
The total maximum daily
requiring a
loads are actually-
TMDL.
What's that?
It says waters requiring a TMDL.
Yeah, I thought it had one. I don't know if Amanda knows.
I thought so.
I think
too, yeah.
that's
I would
what-
double
Okay.
check that and
Okay.
see if, I'm pretty sure Lewis Bay has one.
Kathy, I know a little bit about this because Carl had at one point had in the capital request the Lewis Bay flushing study. But I've taken it out for now because there was a report that was done by SMAS from all the water quality samples that they've been collecting with us over the years. That is pretty thorough, and I believe it has a lot of that data. So let me also put that on my list to give you the name of that report, and
Well, this-
if you want to reference that.
This is a formal state issued TMDL, so it's not like from a report. It's, I swear that we have one for all our impaired watersheds. So it's just a matter of if Weston Sampson could just check and make and see why Lewis Bay is red, because I don't think it should be. I think it has one. So it's just a question. And it looks like the red line further up there is that Hawes Run or something? That might need a TMDL. Is that what that's indicating?
Yeah, it's indicating that it may not have it, but it should. So if Lewis Bay already has one, we'll just pull that off.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
question. It
yeah.
struck me as not sure.
Okay.
So other edits on like page 76, this is just me looking much more closely at things and adding a few things, minor edits, nothing major, just for accuracy purposes. The next big change is page 79. And this map got a lot of changes to it, but mainly due to some comments from DCS where they wanted to have an inventory map that showed all the nonprofit land, the conservation restriction lands, any agricultural preservation restrictions, which we do not have in the town of Yarmouth, and then the chapter 61 lands. So there's a lot of stuff. It's hard because it's a smaller map here, but that's what's kind of being reflected in this map, is all of that information being shown on one map as requested by DCS.
It should be, yeah, be nice to have that map in a really big format.
Yeah, is it possible to do an 11 by 17 insert of this?
It
map?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
Now, these are all very high quality. They were made high quality and inserted into Word, and inherently you lose quality by doing that.
Yeah, and it's even smaller because we have the comments too, so it makes it
Right,
even
right.
worse. So that's great.
I know, I have to imagine Christine has found something in these next few pages.
I
I
hope.
was thinking of you as I read this
Yeah.
last night. I'm like, Christine has found something.
I actually found a bunch of stuff, Christine,
Okay,
that you might be happy about.
we'll see about that. All
There's
right.
a lot of more
keep going.
permanent conservation restrictions that are to the Yarmouth Conservation Trust. One of the comments from DCS was to, make sure that we have all of our conservation restriction lands identified. And I went through and we've added a bunch of properties that do have permanent conservation restrictions that have been given to the Yarmouth Conservation Trust. So this map 5-1 has just been updated to reflect that. All of these tables were used to create that map 5-1 that we were talking about.
I think there's more private lands than what you had listed here, because, I think I had given you the list from the Yarmouth Conservation Trust. And it is at least 20 listed.
These are not these are private lands that have a conservation,
Right.
not the ones that you guys own.
No,
There's a whole nother
these are
page.
private.
Okay, yeah. Are we missing some?
I don't know, it looks like there's more on this list than what you have here.
Yeah, all right. Let me get a copy of this
I
to make
just-
sure.
I just
Oh,
made a copy.
awesome, thank you.
Talking to Christine here.
Yeah, the first page is privately owned lands with conservation restrictions. And then this second page is, there's another page, with just Yarmouth Conservation Trust. And then there's the town-owned properties that have the conservation trust. It's three categories.
Okay.
I guess it's just making those categories match up with your
Yep.
charts
Yep.
to make DCS
Yeah, and
happy.
I'll confirm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, sounds great. Thank you. Leave that right there. So some other, so
Just from
yeah,
a Moral, no, was it a good idea to list out the most vulnerable parcels of land subject to development?
this has been in there
Is that always in
for
there?
forever.
Okay.
They're not, in my opinion, all that susceptible.
I was
Okay.
wrong, Kathy, I was looking at the wrong chart.
So
We're okay.
you were okay?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
this is the trust properties and these are the private properties.
Yes. Oh, so it's the other way around. Okay. I'll double check though, but thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of time spent on the Barnstable Registry of Deeds. Not a good time.
That's a big.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially when you end up going to the back wall where the numbers are like 7.
Right, and they're handwritten.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
And
really
nice
good at
little
reading
map.
script.
Little map saying, oh, left of the big old pine tree on Uncle Ed's property.
Yeah.
Or the plan recorded with this. What? Where is that? No listing. Yeah, and you have to try and find
I
it.
have
So-
one that was written in rods,
Yeah, rods are very
but I
popular.
had to convert it to feet.
So I just added summing up some totals for things because we had them in other tables and we didn't have them in some, so that was just done.
Are we at 531 yet?
Yeah, do you have?
Well, because they just changed hands, Holbrook Farms. It's not Holbrook Farms anymore. It's there's a new landscaping company that bought that.
Oh, you're
It
right.
just happened,
It's
and this is
the
one of those things
forest-
that happened since the last.
It's
For-
not,
Oh,
no,
it's
it's a private owner.
geez, I only drive by it
Yep.
3 times a day to get home.
You know, that's a good point, and it's not the.
Yeah, but you can, yeah,
What?
you can see their trucks.
No,
It's
No, it's not.
Champion Tree, sorry,
It's
or is
a-
it the use, it's the
The
use, sorry.
use, thank you. It's,
My bad.
yeah, it's, yeah. Most of this land is privately owned and
Okay,
remains in the
that's true.
61,
It's the
and then a
front part.
1 point, yeah, the front part. And
Okay,
then there's a
sorry.
1.65 acre that's not within the 61. So I'll check the
My bad.
number.
Okay,
No,
well,
no, you're right,
my-
though. Let's check
oh.
the number,
I'll let you
and then also the owner, because it has changed. You're
yeah,
right.
it's, okay.
And it's smaller acreage too.
Okay,
Whether it's gone formally through the assessors, I don't know, but that's
Okay.
my understanding of what's happening. Page 83. Again, some minor clarifications there. And I just put it in the fact that, because they wanted to know all the properties that had conservation restrictions, I just noted that everything that's CPA or land bank has a conservation restriction on it, but there are some caveats on some exceptions, like for the sailing center and the parking at the farmer's market and that type of thing. Oh, that was relatively minor.
84.
Oh, 84, yep,
Okay, in the middle column under management,
yep.
you have 3 with the Yarmouth Conservation Trust.
Mm-hmm.
The trust does not manage any of the town properties. The town manages the properties. We only have the conservation restrictions. Perhaps you need another column in there to show who has the CRs on the properties.
Well, I think the question is, yeah.
Some department in the town, you know,
Mhm.
if we find a fire pit, you know, on a.
Yeah, you're not
CR
going and
property,
fixing it, yeah.
Until the owner, and the owner has to remove it. So the town is the owner. Some department in the town is the owner of those 3 properties.
I think Consfarm owns 86 Alms House.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other two.
I would think Alms House Road is conservation. but
Yeah,
I would-
That makes sense.
Also with
Yeah.
management, you might want to change.
yeah,
the
select board, I'm with you.
Yeah.
We should probably change that
Yeah.
now that it's select board, not.
Oh, you're killing me.
Well, but then wait, you can do a find and replace, that's like a
Yeah.
gift. You just hit a button.
Well, the select board took over the land bank when it was.
Oh, yeah, we meant, because it says select men.
It was 40 properties with CRs on them at one
Right.
time.
Nobody remembered at the groundbreaking yesterday either. They kept saying selectmen.
It takes time, it takes time. But we hold a higher standard here. Okay,
Page 85. The DCS wanted to know whether there was any state protected lands and federal protected lands. There's only a couple state protected that I've added here. And then I also identified the ones that actually have formal conservation restrictions on them. And that's a formal labels, conservation restriction. Obviously, there's a lot of lands that are fully protected, but they don't have that wording on them. Page 86, we did some modifications to that table with regard to the number of fields that we have. So this is an edit to that. And we can maybe talk about that more when we talk about table 7-3. The most work went into table 5-6. Where they want, DCS wanted to, a list of all town-owned recreation lands needs to be expanded to include columns on current use, list specific amenities available, fill in completely, the condition, the recreation potential, type of grant used to purchase, public access and zoning. So I tried to include, all of this is included in the public lands portion, but I tried to also include it here within the bulk of the report, just to kind of give a better fleshing out of what we have amenities at different, and this is where I included like the number of parking spaces and the number of ADA spaces and that type of thing. So this table alone took an enormous amount of effort.
Thank you.
I hope it's adequate. So we do have a lot of land. And these are just the active ones. I mean, we have a lot of land that we own for conservation, but no one's actively managing it or doing anything on it per se. The next comments, I think, are on page like 101, Cassie.
So Christine's comments
Oh, I'm
with the management go throughout this table as well. Like
With
those-
select board or?
No, those 3 properties that say Yarmouth Conservation Trust manages them, but one of them.
5-6 doesn't, I don't think, talk about management, but what I'll do is I'll check the public land matrix in appendix
Oh,
B.
it says Matt,
Really?
what Brittany's saying. Is that
Where?
it's.
Oh,
sim-
here.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
I'm
similar.
sorry.
It's similar to the
Yeah.
previous table.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. No, it's all right. That's why I'm placed right
Yeah.
in between. All right, to help.
And I'll also do it in this came from the land matrix, so I want to be sure that the
Right.
land matrix.
Now to 100. Page
Now to
100.
100.
We're zipping along.
101. This was a comment from DCS, basically saying the community vision. The open space and recreation goals should only be listed at the broad big picture level. What you have here is really for section 8. So I'm gonna let Cassie identify that they made some edits to this section based on that comment from DCS.
That's the long and the short of it. We just simplified this and then pulled this green text and put it in the other section. And that, so nothing was lost, it was just moved.
Page 110, that table 7-3. One of the comments that we got from Richard Simon was that we do have 10 tennis courts at the DY, which are open to the public. And this kind of started a whole conversation about, yeah, they're open to the public, but not during school hours and not during the tennis season. Is there any prorating of any of that? Because the same thing applies to all of the fields that are school related. We don't really have any access to them. When school, right. And a lot of the programs that we have kind of overlap with their programs. So it's just not available to us. So there were, and I also went with Anthony and I went over all of the fields very carefully in the different locations and tried to identify. A lot of times the fields overlap. So you may have a rectangular field, but that part of that is the outfield of the baseball. So you can't do these 2 sports at the same time. So it's not like we have a fully functioning baseball field here and a fully functioning rectangular field where you can have 2 different things going on at the same time. No, because they're kind of overlapping. So the paragraph that you see here is just trying to give a little bit of a caveat, identifying that, that overlapping and that the DY high school are not always available, and that the tennis courts are open to the public, but you can't use them. So just kind of putting in a caveat, but also including. We had a whole discussion, maybe Cassie has some more to add to that, because she did talk to some of her colleagues about how to address this weird, not 100% usage.
Yeah, in other communities, they have just counted the quantities without providing, even with overlap, it's been counted in each category, which is a little bit odd. So I think that it's double counting certain things. I think in this case, adding this caveat acknowledges that where the access is available and where it's not. So I think it's helpful context to be understood when reading this chart.
And these are outdoor facilities, right?
Correct.
Okay, because when I look at basketball courts, my mind doesn't, was thinking about indoor too. Okay. Also, there is something in the chat. I just didn't know if it was important. Would you mind checking it, please? In case it was Bill or something else.
Oh, I was talking about the tree company that you were talking about.
Thanks, Ruby.
Oh, I didn't even know Roby was here. Hi, Roby.
Champion what?
The tree, when we were talking about. the
Oh,
property
champion.
for
Thank you.
homework.
Yes.
Not them. It's a,
All right.
it's a,
Another
But
one.
it's a
we're still-
private
we're still
homeowner.
on the case. Thank you, Roby. Okay.
and it's for.
And also, how do you define, is it half a basketball court only because it literally is just a half court?
One basketball.
Okay, and there are two, there are two at Peter Homer. Is there one that I can't see?
There's two at Peter Homer, yeah, so they're side to side.
Oh, that's what it
Two
is.
full
Right,
courts.
because when I look at it, I'm like, there's, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
And a
Thank you.
half of the playground.
Yes. So taking that information, they just updated the 7-4 facility comparison. I think it obviously made our tennis courts look much better. We went from 2.4 to 6.4 or something. And then, of course, it decreased our multi-purpose rectangular fields down to 6, but I think we're still well above some of the averages. I know that they are going to be doing a field study. We don't want it to show too good because we know that we do need some additional fields. But I think that's why having this caveat in there is important as we move forward with that. Page 113. I just did some minor edits to that we did upgrade the Moby chairs, so I just moved it from to do to done. To do to done. Same thing further down at Smugglers, so both Seagull Beach and Smugglers.
sorry, Kathy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On the single beach, that there's two upgraded Moby chairs are available for access.
It's at the top.
Yeah, here,
It's-
so. You say, so just at the time, like there's two at that beach, is that what you're trying to say?
2 upgraded Moby chairs are available for beach access at Smugglers.
Okay.
But that's a seagull.
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 Well, Seagull and Smugglers. I'm sorry, were you talking about?
Oh, yeah, there's.
Yeah,
it does
well,
say-
so we have a total of 12. Each beach has different numbers.
Okay, so who has what?
So Seagull Beach has 3.
Okay, oh, great.
Smugglers Beach, we're probably gonna go with 3 as well.
Okay,
And that's it as far as where they are. The rest of them we have
at the rec.
at our office and people come in and
So 6 at the
rent
rec.
one out for free, right, Gail?
Right.
Is there a way to acknowledge that?
Yeah,
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 we should,
yeah.
right?
I think we have, yeah, I can find.
So we, as far as like our process, so we have it
Oh,
all.
no, I meant in the report.
In the report.
No, I know that there's a
Yeah.
process in
Okay,
town. I
because
just
we can
meant,
Google it, yeah.
well, but it would be good to show that we have more than just those 6, that we have
No, I
double
was-
that
yeah,
amount.
right.
Well, that's why I want, when I saw 2, I go, well, no, we have 12. So
Yeah.
I don't know how we can acknowledge that in there, maybe.
Yep.
Additional.
I can put a
Graphic
little
stuff.
star and then a
Yeah.
little thing at the
Yeah.
bottom. We can get that in there for sure.
Okay.
So at the end of 119, I did get a couple comments with regard to
Yeah.
the hunting.
Yeah, I saw it.
And in here, it kind of references under priorities, consider limiting hunting at Horse Pond. I just took it out because I'm not really sure we had any real specific discussions on that. And it seemed to cause a great deal of concern for people. So that's why I took it out.
We had a brief discussion with Bill,
Well-
saying that the hunting is legal, in certain areas.
Right. The only thing I think we had the long discussion on was with regard to the action item is, they looked at the map a long time ago, back in 2013. Maybe we need to look at it now a little bit differently now that we have a wastewater treatment facility going in on one of the lands that's 100% shown as being hunted on. We have the Cape Cod Rail Trail coming. Things have happened that maybe we want to just look at it again. That's all that really is looking at it again. Maybe nothing happens, maybe something happens. But I didn't want to emphasize one particular location because it seemed to really be a hot spot, because we got 2 comments on
I
it.
think we're also gonna need the Moby mat. Where the Moby mat is.
What is this?
We're going back, hold on.
Moby mats. Do we have anything specifying where it's located? I didn't see it.
Yeah, they're located at Seagull Beach. They don't go all the way Southland.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in there?
Where-
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't see it. Where
South
else
Middle
is it?
Beach on the
South Middle
right-hand side. It does say it in that center section.
Oh, great.
Yeah, the Moby mat just doesn't connect to the stairs. There's like a 3-foot gap, so. you have
Right,
to
but it
walk
does
through
acknowledge that there
Yeah.
is a Moby mat in the
Right,
middle
okay.
column.
Right, but I don't know if there's one on.
Is there
Seagull Beach, there should be,
Never
Is there
seen
nothing?
one
Isn't
on
it the
Seagull
floating
Beach.
walkway?
I'm sorry.
No, there's nothing at Seagull Beach other than the wooden ramp.
Yeah,
There's-
Before
that's
the
nice.
road beat.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, it's like a ramp.
It's a,
Oh,
at
Judy-
grade.
I know it. Oh, here it is. It's Judean Way. That's there too. That's good. Okay. Judean Way Beach has.
I have a
That was
question
stupid.
about Horse Pond Conservation. The bike trail doesn't go through there, it goes through the golf course.
So
And it's farther. north.
where are
Horse
we?
Pond. We're back, sorry, now we're back to page 119. We moved around a little.
Thank
It's
you,
okay.
thank
You
you,
could just
Bill.
say the page number. That would be helpful.
Okay.
All good. So please repeat.
Yeah, the bike trail is north of Horse Pond.
Where does it say that?
Down at the bottom, it says circulation, there's a bike trail used seasonally that connects to Buck Island Road. The full connection is not complete. That bike trail is way north of Horse Pond. It goes through the golf course and it's.
No,
I
this is
think
the
these are just
new
dirt
one.
trails. Are these dirt?
No,
trails?
it sounds like it's
It's a
the
bike trail.
phases
It
of,
says the bike trail.
yeah, well, it's not the Cape Cod Rail Trail, it's the shared
So
use path.
maybe we need to, I think we should say shared use path instead.
Take the word bike out.
This isn't
Well,
Horse
it's still-
Pond?
Yeah.
Horse Pond doesn't have,
Really far
Yeah, it's
north.
on-
of
Yeah, I think-
Horse Pond.
Horse Pond
So,
is,
yeah,
I think it's
Horse
Kroll.
Pond here and
It's
bike
just
trail.
right
Horse
here.
Pond isn't,
Parking area that's
Yeah.
not in the conservation area.
Right,
It's almost like a Jace.
right.
Right.
I don't think we should mention it at all. Do you? Or just say that that's how you get access to it, is the shared use pathway on Higgins? Is that what we're trying to get
It's
at?
it's right along.
Well,
The
it goes
road,
between
I
West
think we
Travis
should
Road and
avoid
Higgins.
saying anything about bikes, because you're not supposed to.
Right, and that was a couple of the comments we even got from our hunting friends. It was like, and people that use those trails, right? There was someone else who had written in, who
Oh,
had said, the scariest thing back there is not hunting. It's people on dirt bikes and bikes coming through there at a zillion miles an hour.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
not saying, I don't think those folks are reading this report, but
There's a,
we should still not give them the ability to think that they're empowered. Brittany. I'm agreeing with you, is what I'm saying. So how would we,
But the
How do you-
bike trail, the bike
It's a-
trail,
well, the shared use path,
it's still really far north of where Horse Pond is.
right, they're just saying
the
that
Horse
the
Pond,
shared use
Conservation
pathway
area
on
there.
Higgins Kroll is where you kind of park and then get onto
Right.
Horse Pond.
it's a,
Right.
They're just saying, how do you,
Oh.
but it's
The
just like,
whole
how do you
area.
get to Horse Pond? I guess you could get through to it based on the shared use pathway if you wanted to,
Yeah.
but
You can.
But in the
Um,
other
it is weird,
circulation, it's
yeah.
just-
Yeah.
I'll look at the wording on that.
Oh.
Okay, so, 124,
yes.
I guess I just had one quick question on this. This is where she moved the information from
Right, from the
section. yes.
previous thing.
My only, it says the broad vision statements below, which seems like we took it out of vision and put it into goals and objectives. Does that, why are we calling them broad vision statements?
Their goals and.
Yeah,
Simply,
I'm just-
let's call it the goals below, or the statements below. Just take out broad vision.
yeah, it just, yeah, perfect.
Is that the name of it?
No.
Okay.
I'll go back.
What is it?
In the table,
Yeah,
Sorry, what page?
Sorry, I was just looking when you guys were going over.
What page, please?
Page 119.
Right.
It's Wax Pond Conservation Area.
Yeah.
Recreation area.
Oh, right, that's all
Sorry.
right. That's all right.
You're right.
Glad you caught it.
I don't mean to be nitpicky.
You,
We
this is the
also-
time. This is,
No,
the nits
yeah.
are being picked
Well, then,
today,
but-
right now.
No. it's just-
Well,
Let's
that's it,
pick something.
seriously, what else you got, dude? Dude, what else are we doing here if not picking nits? What else you got?
Exactly.
Look at Bill Benetti, he picks some
Can we
nits.
change the font?
no.
Is it, wait, is it supposed to?
Bill, are you frozen?
Is it
Bill, are you okay?
apples?
Okay, Bill, blink twice. Okay, all right. Sorry.
What is the comment on Flax Pond?
Page 119.
Yeah, it's recreation. Yeah, not constant. There you
Oh,
go.
I see.
Keep on picking. We're almost there. Okay, are we at 125 now?
120, yeah, 126.
Okay, that too.
So, I mean, I don't know where we can mention things that are in progress, but we did just start our Phragmites management for invasive species. It's goal 1, objective 1B. And we have initiated construction basically for invasive species management.
I don't want to necessarily I don't see how it changes the goal. You're
No, it
still
doesn't.
continuing to
Just
do it.
In other parts, we have things that, we have goals and then we have already done this. for the
Yeah,
goal.
do we have a place, other place where we can say that? I mean,
I can go through it again.
I'm more than happy to say that we've started this and that we've gotten funding for it and whatever.
Yeah.
And just, it's not,
No, it doesn't go
Yeah.
here.
Maybe not
It
here.
sparked.
Okay.
yeah, so let me
Go
know.
pick that knit and then email. Okay, please.
No, it's great to acknowledge all this great stuff that people are
Yes,
doing.
we should. Especially because it's been a journey, the Fragmites journey.
Yeah.
We've all been on it together.
And piecing together the funding has been fun, I'm sure.
I'm-
Fun.
Yeah, so
beautiful
not the
affair.
greatest. Nothing's ever easy. You just gotta
Right.
fight for everything.
Yeah.
I guess on page 126. There's just, there was a comment from the Cape Cod Commission that dredging projects was just emphasizing that with shoreline nourishment. That's typically what we do with it, but it's just identifying that. Because that's very important as well.
In objective 3H, we're no longer proposing to utilize the coastal flood risk. management for the
Okay.
Bylaw.
So would
Um,
just get rid of and utilize? Complete initiatives related to tidal flooding, complete a vulnerability
we're
assessment.
still doing that.
Okay.
And these maps still exist. We're not proposing to incorporate them into the bylaw anymore because it's very.
But can we say that we utilize them? Or should we just strike the whole final, everything after and and utilize?
We can, and consider incorporating sea level rise into wetland bylaw. Because we are considering it, we're just trying to do it in the next step, not right now.
So it would just be complete a vulnerability assessment and consider incorporating sea level rise into changes to wetland bylaws.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
Cool.
great.
Okay. Ooh, now we're into the fun part.
I didn't
What are
want
we
to,
gonna do?
Idea of
No,
fun is a- it's
no, I'm just
completely
saying.
Different than my idea of fun.
What are we gonna do about it part?
I didn't want to change too many things because this has been conditionally approved by
Right.
DCS. So a few things I can kind of say, well, this came out of the review of with the planning board and the conservation commission, because those boards needed to have a review. So there's not, so that you'll find that there's not a lot of changes in here, but on page 131, I just added, I know that we have a list of salt marsh migration, but I kind of wanted to put it somewhere, so I put it in there. And then also Sarah Korjeff from the Cape Cod Commission, mentioned maybe a developing list of archaeological and cultural resources might be also. So that's what those are
Yeah,
from.
like the archaeological.
So that kind of ties into a bunch of other things that are going on in town. Again, on 133, when I changed the goal, I just changed it here, so we're gonna have to change the other goal as well in the map. Add with the nourishment, shoreline nourishment, so 3H, objective 3H is gonna have to
3G1?
address the impacts of climate change.
Oh, sorry, I'm making a different.
Somewhere, okay, we
Yeah,
talk
the
about the,
3H3, sorry.
yeah,
Well,
thank
actually, you
you.
can keep that one because it says when considering future changes.
Right,
We
can
can
utilize
just leave
it.
that one. 'cause
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
saying-
okay, so you're fine with 3H3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Kathy,
Yes,
can you hear me? Okay. Just looking back in here, it talks about there's a couple things that have been done since we
Yeah.
started this.
Yeah.
Complete the-
I'm gonna cut you off there because I
Yeah.
don't, things like I spent a lot of time, I know the splash pad has been constructed and I know the accessible playground's constructed, but we haven't done a site assessment of it. We haven't done an ADA assessment. I'm not going back out.
Yeah.
So I had to cut the line somewhere because I do know that there are some things. So if there's other stuff, then I guess I don't want to backtrack if it then impacts other sections of the bylaw or the report.
Well, just, I don't know, do what you want with it, but the process for the 10-year dredge permitting is completed.
Yeah. We're just gonna go with it because this is still a June 2023
Yeah,
document.
okay,
To get any credit for it.
yep,
Thank you, Roby. And both things are
Yeah.
true. Bill is right and so is Roby.
Yeah, and if we look at it,
Both could be right.
if we look at it 6 months from now, we'll have more stuff done.
Right.
And more
Yeah.
stuff done. And so we got it.
You're- But also we've also put things, but also to connect what Bill's saying is we have acknowledged things that have happened in the fall.
I know.
But we just have to we have to pick and choose our spots.
I
So
know.
that we don't trigger all kinds of other delays, I think is the general point, Bill.
I don't want to edit this too much
Yeah.
because like I say, it's been approved
Got it.
and it's probably basically, yeah,
It's 87.4%.
It's 97.
That too. All right, well, you're a
Um,
little more optimistic.
On
then.
page one, it's got.
I'm kidding,
I
I'm
can't
kidding,
do
I'm
it.
teasing. Sorry, but Bill, we appreciate the point, we do.
I do appreciate it. And I'm amazed at how many things that are on here and things that we're actively working on. It's actually phenomenal. So, on page 135, Joanne Crowley, the planning board, had a great comment. We really haven't acknowledged golf. And golf, I know, I was like, what? Right. Because they have a very detailed 5-year capital improvement plan that they are implementing annually, and you'll see them before every year they're going to capital budget for that. So that's just adding that in and acknowledging it and saying, golf is important and it is another project that we continue to be completing. The next page, I'm on page 136, some of these came out of comments from Joe Manning, Bill Carroll from Pickleball, and then also, I think, and maybe, and Jim Saban from the planning board. So I know that Joe Manning was interested in maybe having some courts for tournament play. So that's something to think about, whether that happens at Sandy Pond, or maybe that's something that's part of the Matakees reuse. That's just kind of emphasizing that we are maybe looking at some tournament play. And then also Bill was concerned about, having some types of shade structures at Flax Pond. Maybe that's something that I kind of said to him that maybe that's something that you could work with you, Anthony, on as you're moving forward. Every tiny little thing doesn't necessarily need to be in here, but we did include that so people understand that that's an important part of pickleball. On 4C4, it's just people are talking about, there's a lot of interpretive science. How can we get people to know that, in addition to this great recreation area, you also want to go down here because there's a great place to, maybe get a drink or some ice cream, or maybe there's another attraction you want to go to. So maybe there's some additional signs that send people to different places and businesses in our community. And again, that's the same kind of thing with interpretive signage was another big thing from Jim Saban. And then again, getting the signage to let us know about our other attractions and things going in town and business. Those are kind of minor edits that were done based on.
Please.
Action 4C-5, again, we've already upgraded, so we're supposed to take care of that, like the Moby mats and the Moby chairs? Or is that supposed to be like just there because it's there?
I don't think it happened until after June.
So that's,
Well, and also it's also a priority that is 6 to 7 more years, because I think that meaning that since we just did so much additional Moby mat and Moby chair work now, 6 years from now, it'll be time to do it again. So that's why I understand what you're saying, but do you see where the columns? Yeah, do you see where the columns where it says time frame? It's listed under the farthest one. It's listed under 6 to 7. So I think you're right.
all right.
but
It's
it's
a
more
fine
about-
line, and I really struggled with it because I didn't want to change this
So
to.
I understand now,
I
you're
think-
projecting, yeah.
I think that's why, because we so clearly can't lose that as a priority, but it's not a priority for the immediate future.
Got it.
You're
Thank you.
inspired today.
Woo! You know what?
On
I went and
fire.
I got myself a smoothie. Whoa.
Is that,
Man,
that's what I need to do before all my meetings.
Yeah,
I'm high on
Get a bucket of
smoothies
it.
this morning.
And then the last edits are to the action plan map, and then I also added to the action item key was the new.
131?
Yeah,
Just to
sorry,
make sure
yeah,
that-
the new action item for the,
Okay.
for the golf courses, and that's it.
Thank you for those first items. Wow.
What's
First
that?
item?
Great.
Oh, right. That's the Christine's item. Literally, it should be called.
Switching.
Well, it's been a while, yes. So, and then on the very last page.
Yeah.
It talks about all the fun people we've
Yeah.
acknowledged. Speaking of fun people to be acknowledged, do we need to acknowledge anybody that's joining us? Is this more?
Yeah,
people
no,
who
I
are-
mean, you could certainly ask if anyone from the public has any comments, sure.
Yeah, I think this would be the right time,
Yeah.
since that we're trying to, the dust is starting to settle. Would you mind changing the view
Yeah,
so we can
yeah,
just see?
you
who
just-
those in
So if you
photos-
stop sharing.
Cassie, would you mind stopping to share, please? We like it when you do share, but we just don't, okay. Is there any member of the public that would like to speak? If you could, raise your virtual hand or put a note in the chat.
I like it.
You're being too sassy, Roby.
Okay. No, Rob? Roby's not a member of the public. She's a member of a different.
She is a member of the public and.
Okay.
sense.
So it
So
doesn't
what?
sound like any of our other additional friends have anything else. Okay. So what okay,
So if
So
you
do
guys
we-
are comfortable with me and
Town
Weston and Sampson and staff providing me with additional, I'll make the edits. I'd like to get it to the select board uh by next Friday. That way they'll have enough time to review it. I will also update that PowerPoint presentation that I had. I know, sorry.
oh
it's-
my God.
I know.
Yeah.
I think, try to think of ways to speed it up. I think
Yeah.
I sped it up a little bit for Concom, but maybe I'll start with that one. And but we've made some changes, so I'll update that, and that will be the thing that that and an actual link to everything. I'll get that on the town website.
Right.
Will be part of the pack for the select board.
So do we need to take some sort of vote? I don't believe so.
No, I think it's as long as it's by
more-
consensus that everyone is
Right.
comfortable with the edits that we talked about, the red line edits and the additional edits that we're gonna do. I think we're getting really close, and we'll just kind of want to present it to the select board, because that's our last thing. We need their support letter, and then we can send it off to
Back to
DCS, and hopefully
And
they'll
they-
say, wow, this is amazing. Thank you.
Right.
You've answered all our questions. And you're fully, you have a final approval, because we do need that to get our final
Yes.
reimbursement for a bunch of different grants.
And then you'll of course share whatever correspondence comes back from DCS.
Yep.
Hopefully,
Yep.
very glowing one. Can we talk about the next meeting, before we talk about minutes? Because unfortunately, I have a date with Olivia Rodrigo, on April
Oh.
2nd. It's not really a date. If you know who that is, great. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. But my daughters are having a date with her and I have to go. So
You're attending.
are you gonna be able to attend on April 2nd?
Yeah.
Thank you. But Olivia Rodrigo waits for. So thank you for that. And I apologize that I can't be there, but obviously if there's other folk that would like to be there, my guess is.
Yeah,
Will we be
everyone-
past the, well, sorry to interrupt, will they be past all of the town meeting nonsense,
I think so.
appropriate
Yeah,
nonsense,
we're
so
voting it
that,
on the 26th.
right, which means it won't be one of those, it'll still be a long meeting, but hopefully not any marathon.
Yeah.
Whoever does choose to show up from
Yeah.
this group.
It's great if everyone, wants to show up, and, if you're sometimes sitting in the front, and then we can introduce everybody. And
Whoever you
you're
like.
more than welcome to sit right next to me at the meeting table, and then we'll just kind of go through the presentations quickly as well.
That's downstairs, right?
Yeah, in the hearing room.
Okay.
And that's on Tuesday, April 2nd.
What
Yeah.
time? I'll be there.
It starts at 6, but I don't know
I-
when we're gonna be
I
on.
wouldn't show up at 6. I would say.
Unless we're first.
I'll let you guys know
Okay.
when
great,
where we
thanks.
are on the agenda.
All right, so you want us to have your show up first.
Well, that doesn't really help. You show up and then something.
Right, then
takes
something jumps
longer.
in and
Oh.
public
You
comment and
you
then
can see on the agenda.
you
Yeah,
can,
yeah, yeah,
except that sometimes little curveballs.
Yeah. it goes
Sometimes
a
little
lot.
curveballs.
If I was at the select board meeting, something that was scheduled for 10 minutes took an hour.
Yeah,
And
it
then
did.
the thing that was scheduled for an hour took 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was very confused.
Nothing takes 10 minutes.
Right, it's not possible.
Nothing,
All
absolutely.
right, so
nothing.
that is,
When we saw-
Yes, we separate.
so that's our upcoming meeting. Now we're gonna talk about meeting minutes, because that is fun. And I would like a motion, please, on the minutes from the meeting from July 10, 2023.
So moved.
We love a move and a second. Any discussion on those minutes? Okay, thanks. We'll take a vote then. Christine Marzigliano,
Aye.
Gail Charette,
Bye.
Ellie Lawrence,
Aye.
Steve Szanski.
Aye.
Woo! Will Rubenstein abstains, because that's what happens when you don't go to a meeting. Even though I know what the town clerk said. Sorry, I just don't agree.
I
I don't agree. I don't agree
will
either.
file my legal complaint in a separate timeline in the multiverse.
I am
Okay.
on that one.
And I guess I would like to say, before we wrap this party up, I just think it's worth taking a moment to say, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because we have been on a journey, friends. We've been on a journey for 18 months. Believe it or not. And I do want to thank you. I especially want to thank, even though they're being paid handsomely, I do want to thank our very good friends from Weston and Sampson. And I do appreciate it. And Cassie, truly, you have called a lot of good plays. I think you and Kathy together are the very dynamic duo. And of course, I'm forgetting the name of the other nice person
All we're seeing
Who is
is
along the way?
Anthony's
Cup.
cup.
Yeah.
and Anthony's cup.
So Lauren.
Sorry, you're talking and it's a cup.
So we
Lauren,
just,
who couldn't be here, is the one who did a lot of the heavy
Right.
lifting on the mapping and things, so.
well, I'm sure,
But it's
I'm sure,
great, and Kathy is excellent at organizing and making sure the information is accurate. So really kudos to Kathy and this team.
yeah, and when
Great
you
job,
consider
everybody.
how this particular ad hoc committee cut across so many portions of the town, both volunteer wise and staff wise. I just want to say thank you also very much to the town staff, both who are here today and who couldn't be here today. It's another reminder of how fortunate we are as civilians, to have amazing people working on our behalf and with us. Because I really do feel like this was a with, not a for, and certainly not an against. And also to acknowledge that there was decent public participation, as much as you can expect from any long project in the year 2024. And
Yeah, it was
You
good-
know,
it
we're
was good
there.
Public,
Yeah. So thank you to Bill and Roby. And thank you to Kara and John for joining us. And Steve, we're sorry not to see you, but we hope you're having fun babysitting. Kathy, do we miss anything?
I would just ask Cassie to send me the edits that she kept many minutes, and that would be great. And I'll see what I can do to add that in, and then we'll hear back from Bill and Brittany, the two Bs, and we'll incorporate those into it.
So hopefully we'll all see each other in 10 more years.
7.
Or 7.
Six.
Or 6.
Not
or
even
5.5.
7. Not
Bill,
even 7.
Bill just gave a side eye. I saw it, Bill. I saw it. And yes, Kathy gets lots of things. Okay, Kathy gets lots of things. All right, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I so moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion, not having it. All right.
Thank you for chairing this.
Vote.
I want to
Oh,
say
thank
that.
you.
Thank you for chairing. You
Sure.
did a
You're
fabulous job.
You're welcome. I love everybody. I don't love meetings, but I love everybody. Christine,
Aye.
Gail, who did I forget? Oh, sorry. Hi.
Steve.
Steve,
Aye.
myself, I allow myself to I myself.
All right.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Wow.
Thank
Great
you,
job,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you.
Wow.
We lost some papers.
Oh, thank you. Official
All right.
papers.
Bye,
you know-
all.
Bye.
You know what happened? That attachment came, and because of some technology, I couldn't print out the Word document, so I took a picture of it.